Anyway, so thank you so much for having me as your guest. This is one of my favorite places to go as a Rotarian. Your Rotary Club, St. John's Northwest, was the sponsoring club for Avalon Northeast. So I remember going back to the early days of, Ernie Reed and others telling us all about what Rotary would be and whatnot. And it's a real pleasure to be here. I just have one bone to pick. I've ever since Evan Johnson sold me the Trip of the Month Club many years ago, I haven't won a nickel. So I'm now buying from Wendy. So if she doesn't sell me a winner soon, I'll have to switch to somebody else. But anyway, yeah, well. Anyway, I really enjoy your club. I enjoy your club's energy, enthusiasm, and commitment. And I've heard from Jim and Butcher great ideas of a wonderful project coming up. So good luck with all that. Now, we all know about Paul Harris. He's the founder of Rotary, and we live his legacy 120 years later, empowered to change our communities and the world through his ideas, action, and planning. As Rotarians, we also know that there are two overall organizations in Rotary. The Rotary International, which is the worldwide service organization that includes as members all the clubs that we attend, like this one. And the Rotary Foundation, which is the worldwide award-winning charity that is the arm that does all that good work all around the world in the 7 areas of focus. I don't know whether you can name them, but I'll name them for you. Peace and conflict resolution, disease prevention and treatment, water and sanitation, maternal and child health, basic education and literacy, economic and community development, and protecting the environment. Now, within those 7, you cover almost all the things you can do to save the world. And all of the Rotary Foundation's programs and services are designed by, funded by, and delivered by Rotary clubs and individual Rotarians. No wonder it's the charity of choice for many Rotarians. And many Rotarians in this room are great supporters of the foundation, so thank you. Now, it's my honor this afternoon to join you and talk about the Rotary Foundation and to share ways that you can make a lasting impact of your own through the Rotary Foundation's Endowment Fund. I think I'm going to need a slide, please. This is not working on me. Okay, thank you. So, your personal or your club's recurring support of the Rotary Foundation's annual fund makes an impact today. Big or small, a gift to the annual fund provides vital support to people who need your help now. Every year that you give, you make a difference in your community and all around the world. Not only do you get a tax deduction, because half of your monies are donated to the annual fund are returned to the district 3 years later to fund district grants for local projects, you can potentially get to spend the money you give. Now, what kind of a deal is that? So that's making a difference now. Next slide, please. What many people don't know about is that there's an additional way to give. That's through the endowment. Gifts to the endowment fund of the Rotary Foundation are nurtured to provide steady funding for your favorite Rotary programs, the same life-saving or changing programs that you support with the annual gifts. The endowment can also magnify the level of your support over time. Think of it as planting seeds to grow more apples. A lot more apples. Next slide, please. 120 years ago, we couldn't have predicted the effort required to eradicate polio worldwide or the devastating impact of COVID-19 on the lives and livelihoods of the millions of people all around the globe. But Rotary was ready to respond to the pandemic, partly because years ago, individuals and families gave to the endowment so that Rotary could act when and how it was needed. Our endowment is critical to our ability to respond to changing times. Arch Clump, pictured here, was the 6th Rotary International president, and he was the co-founder of the Rotary Foundation. And he's the one who proposed an endowment in 1917 because he knew that Rotary's tomorrow depends on what we do today. Slide, please. Your Rotary legacy is a tribute to your generosity, your philanthropic vision, your dedication to service, and your core values. Rotary's endowment will ensure that you never stop doing good in the world. Now, supporting the endowment is a little different from other kinds of giving. Gifts to the endowment supply perpetual funding, whereas other kinds of contributions are used in full. The Rotary Foundation's goal is to build the endowment fund for greater security, and every gift of any size gets us closer to that goal. Next slide, please. Your potential impact from a legacy structured within Rotary's endowment is extraordinary. Now, this example shown on the screen shows how gifts to the endowment are invested and professionally managed to provide ongoing support for Rotary's local and global humanitarian efforts without spending the initial gift amount. For example, shown here, a gift of $25,000 can yield $1,000 in spendable earnings each and every year. That's the same level of support as a Paul Harris Society member, but forever. Obviously, this math works at any level of donation. For example, it's not shown here, but a gift of $2,500 could provide $100 every year, but forever. Slide, please. But that's just hypothetical. Here's a real-life example of an endowment fund established by a past district governor and his wife from Dawson Creek, BC, in District 5370. They donated a little over $30,000 in June of 2015 and another $3,000 or so the following June. In only 8 years, the market value of that initial almost $34,000 donation had grown to about $41,000, while generating almost $11,000 to be spent by the Rotary Foundation. And the markets are up in 2024, so I'm sure it looks even better today. Now, this kind of giving enables your legacy to provide funding to the Rotary programs every year, just like your funds to the annual fund, except the support is continuous and can grow over time, just like that example. Slide, please. You can make outright gifts to the endowment during your lifetime to see your gift in action as it helps improve lives and communities. Just like when you choose Polio Plus or the annual fund, when you make a one-time donation, you can specify that you wish that donation to go to the endowment fund. You can also make a gift to the endowment through a commitment, such as a provision in your will or other estate plan. This is a promise of a gift that will have a big impact in the future, but not on your finances today. By notifying Rotary of a commitment now, you could receive special recognition and help in personalizing your legacy to fit your goals. It's easy to modify your commitment later if you need to change your long-term plans. The most popular way to make donations to the endowment is through unrestricted gifts to the World Fund. As we've discussed, Rotary is uniquely prepared to work with people and communities around the world. The World Fund has tremendous impact on the future by providing support wherever it's needed most. For example, in 2021, the trustees of the Rotary Foundation directed $3 million US from the World Fund to disaster response grants. This allowed clubs and districts to provide critical supplies, medical care, and other immediate support for the COVID-19 relief efforts. Now, no one could have predicted that exact need, but Rotary was able to respond immediately because generous donors in the past had made unrestricted funding available. You can do that too. Slide, please. You may also choose to direct some of your spendable earnings from your gift or commitment to your own district through SHARE. The effect of this is the same as if you were giving a gift yourself each year, but forever. District grants, funded by SHARE, do good work by clubs like yours all over the district. Most of these grants are used for local projects funded through the district grant program. Our ability to continue to provide annual district grants to clubs like yours is made possible thanks to annual donors and the generosity of legacy gifts directed to SHARE, which extends the reach of the programs you care about. In addition to the World Fund and SHARE, you can designate your gift to the Rotary Peace Centers or an area of focus. Commitments are a way to start to plan your legacy, and they're often made in estate plans through a will or codicil. By committing a fixed amount or a percentage of your assets to the Rotary Foundation, you can use your resources to do good after you no longer need them. Now, deciding to leave a bequest to the Rotary Foundation involves many considerations and may take time. You can easily adjust your commitments later if your personal goals change and there's no minimum age or minimum amount. And you don't have to figure this out on your own. In addition to your professional advisors, your lawyer, your accountant, the Rotary International Office or staff liaison can help you build your plan in a confidential way. Slide, please. Naming the Rotary Foundation as a beneficiary of certain life insurance policies, retirement assets, or bank and investment accounts is an easy way to enhance your legacy without updating your will. This also simplifies matters for your loved ones. You can direct all or a portion of what remains to charity. Insurance policies can also be a good choice to fund charitable gifts because your financial and family circumstances may change over the years. Bequests and beneficiary designations have no effect on your income, but they provide long-term support for people in need. Now, whatever method may work best for you, remember to include the Rotary's official legal name in our country. And that's very simple, the Rotary Foundation Canada. But you want to make sure you got that word Canada in there, else it goes to the US and it doesn't go to the wrong place. Next slide, please. I realize that for many of us, we guard our privacy as to our financial matters, including our estate plans. But there's a couple of very good reasons why it's to your benefit to let Rotary know that you have included the Rotary Foundation Canada in your will or estate plan. The first is that you can make sure your money is spent on the things you care about. Did you know that 2/3 of all the money from bequests that are received by the foundation show up without prior notice? All of those funds go to the World Fund of the foundation. That's a great choice. But if you want your monies to be spent in a different way, for example, on SHARE or Peace or one of the areas of focus, you must let Rotary know in advance. And here is an image of the standard form to let Rotary know about your plans. And there's also a link on the website. You can just do it online. Next slide, please. Now, the second reason why you want to let a Rotary know about making your estate plan, that includes Rotary Foundation Canada, is that by telling Rotary about your intent, you can receive special recognition and help in personalizing your legacy to fit your goals. When you make a promise of future commitment to the endowment or an outright gift of $1,000 US to the endowment, you'll be recognized as a benefactor. Membership in the Bequest Society is offered to anyone who makes a commitment to give $10,000 or more to the foundation. Members receive special updates, invitation to events, and an exclusive pin or pendant. Now, maybe you don't care about recognition, but consider this. Your example could influence others to include the Rotary Foundation Canada in their own estate plans. And I got to tell you, this club has donated over $300,000 US to the Rotary Foundation over the years. And there's multiple members of this club who have donated to the annual fund and are Paul Harris Fellows and whatnot. But there's no one in this club who is listed as a benefactor or a member of the Bequest Society. Now, that may be because it's in their estate plan and they didn't tell Rotary. But right now, your club's got a number of 0, and I don't think that's the right number for this club. Next slide, please. A Rotary Promise Club is one in which 100% of the members have made commitments or outright gifts of $1,000 US to the endowment. Rotary has materials about this, including a newsletter about Rotary Promise Clubs, and I'll share that with your club's executive. Well, at least one club in our district is considering to become a Rotary Promise Club. There's still a dream for them, so you can still be the first if you want to try to do that. Next slide, please. With its long record of making an impact, the Rotary Foundation is the organization you can trust to nurture your legacy while providing support each and every year for the causes you care about while fostering continued growth. This ensures that generations of Rotary members will have the resources they need to design achievable, sustainable projects that fulfill your goals. Rotary is your partner now and later. The key to building an influential Rotary legacy is to plan gifts now that will provide for the future. Slide, please. Whether you choose to secure your vision with outright gifts or prefer the flexibility or commitments for the future, you can enjoy peace of mind knowing that Rotary is prepared to fulfill your vision. Either way, you're joining a tradition that unites leaders from continents, cultures, and communities all around the world. Now, before I close, I wanted to tell you about a couple of fundraising campaigns, one which is worldwide, and the other one which is right here in our district. Slide, please. So, you may have heard that the Rotary Foundation is currently in the final months of a worldwide campaign to grow the endowment fund that we've been talking about to over $2 billion. It's 2025 by 2025 is the slogan. And the contributions are split pretty evenly between cash and legacy gifts from wills and life insurance and the like. Now, as of May of this year, the campaign needed about $300 million, primarily on the cash side, to reach its goal. We're probably closer now. Next slide, please. But here's one that we all can be involved in for sure. Maybe if we got the cash, I suppose. It's called as you may recall, that our district and our adjoining district in the old days of 7810 and 7820 did two very successful $1 million campaigns. Well, the new district has launched a new one for this year, and it's called the Magical Major and Planned Gift Campaign, in keeping with the theme of the Rotary Year 2024-2025, announced by this year's Rotary International President, Stephanie A. Urchek from the Rotary Club of McMurray in Pennsylvania. Now, this is a major gifts campaign focused on seeking donations of $10,000 and up. So it may not be for everybody. But you can donate cash now, or pledged over 2 or 3 years, or future gifts by will, codicil, or life insurance. And that's much more available for most people, a $10,000 US bequest in your will or life insurance. Or, and there's many in this situation in this club who are partway on their way to getting $10,000 in donations to the Rotary Foundation. There's many of you in this club with $3,000, $5,000, $6,000 already donated to the foundation. If you want to get to pump that up to get to $10,000 to become a major donor, please think about doing that this year. Now, however you contribute, you can direct your gift to your chosen Rotary Foundation area, the Annual Fund, Polio Plus, or one of the 7 areas of focus, the World Fund, or, my favorite, the Endowment Fund. Now, anyone can give. Rotarians, Rotary clubs, Rotary-owned businesses, and even non-Rotarians who want to help us continue to do good in the world. And you may not have known, but the last time they did a campaign, they blew past the $1 million and went right to $2 million because there was a lady in Maine who died and left $1 million US to the Rotary Foundation. And she wasn't a Rotarian, but she believed in the good works of the Rotary Foundation. So that was unexpected, but it was welcome, obviously. So I'll be sharing more information about this campaign with your club's executive, and you'll probably be seeing things about this in your communications. Next slide, please. Now, if you use this link on the Rotary website, /legacy, you can learn more about the endowment and learn how to notify Rotary when you're ready to make a commitment. So thank you for joining me today to listen to me talk about the foundation and the endowment. I look forward to working with you to transform your dreams for the future into a meaningful Rotary legacy. And I don't know, Jim, do we have a couple of minutes? I could answer some questions now.
Yes, anybody have any questions for Don?